Let's continue our discussion. So let's move on to question number 21. So here we have, if one, let me use the pencil here. Here. So we have, if 1 plus 1 over x is equal to 2 minus 2 over x, then we need to find the value of x. So this, we will say 1 over x, we will take the minus 2 over x, bring it here, it's going to change the sign, so plus 2 over x equal to 2. 1 will come to the other side, it's going to be minus 1. Here we have a common denominator, so that will be x, 1 plus 2 equal to 1, because 2 minus 1, okay? And this will lead us to have 3 over x, which is equal to 1, and 3 will be equal to x. This is simply saying that x is equal to 3. So definitely our answer is answer E. Okay, so that's a very simple question that you can answer like this. Let's move on to question number 22. So here it says, so we have like a table here with categories: create your own sundae, 12 ice cream flavors, 10 kinds of candies, 8 liquid toppings, and 5 kinds of nuts, with or without whipped cream. If a customer makes exactly one selection from each of the 5 categories shown in the table above, what is the greatest possible number of different ice cream sundaes that the customer can create? Okay, so here we have the 5 categories. So the 5 categories. This here. So in order to make a sundae, we have to choose one from each of the categories here. So the first category, we have 12 choices. So we have 12 possible choices, because it says here, if a customer makes exactly one selection from each of the 5 categories. So we have to make one selection from each. And here we can make 12 possible selections. The second category is 10. So we'll multiply it by 10. The second is 8. The third is 5. And then here we have with or without. So with is can be a selection, and without can also be a selection. So that's why we will have 2 here. Now this will give us, we know that 12 times 10 times 8 times 10, because 2 times 5 is equal to 10. Then we can have like this: 12 times 8 and 10 times 10. This will give 12 times 8 is 96, 10 times 10 is 100, and this will lead us to have 9,600, which is answer A here. So that's basically how you solve this question. Okay, so let's jump to question number 23. Our next question. It says the number of rooms at Hotel G is less than twice the number of rooms at Hotel H. If the total number of rooms at Hotel G and Hotel H is 425, what is the number of rooms at Hotel G? So we can say that G is equal to the number of rooms at Hotel G, okay? And then H is the number of rooms at Hotel H, like this. Then it says that the number of rooms at Hotel G is 10 less than twice the number of rooms at Hotel H. What does it mean mathematically? So that means that G, which is the number of rooms at Hotel G, is equal to 10 less than twice the number of rooms at Hotel H. So twice the number of rooms at Hotel H minus 10. Okay, and then it also says if the total number of rooms at Hotel G and Hotel H, okay, is equal to 425. That's it. So now they want us to find the number of rooms. What is the number of rooms at Hotel G? So one way we can do that is that we can simply here replace this value of H here. One way we could do it is that we can find the expression of H, okay, being equal to 425 minus G, like this. And we can use this and replace it in this operation. So G will now be equal to 2 factor of 425 minus G minus 10. Okay, like I said, we are replacing H by this expression here. So now G is 2 times 425 is 850 minus 2G minus 10. Okay, and this, the minus 2 will come here, so we have G minus plus 2G. It's equal to 850 minus 10, 840, 3G being equal to 840, and then G being equal to 840 divided by 3, and which gives us 280. Okay, so the answer is answer E. So pretty much straightforward. Very easy question. Okay, so let's move on to the next question here, which is question number 24. This question tells us that in the XY plane, so I'm going to try to draw the plane here. The vertices of a triangle have the coordinates, okay, 0, 0, 3, 3, and 7, 0. What is the perimeter of the triangle? So now I'm going to try to draw here x-axis, okay. So the first coordinate we have here, I'm going to call it A. The second is 3, 3. So this is 3, x3, and y3. So we're going to have it here. So I'm going to call it B because this is 3, 1. And then we have 7, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X is 7 and y is 0. So we're going to have it here. So that will be C. So I'm going to say like this. This is going to be our triangle. Okay, so we know the perimeter of the triangle is equal to the addition of the sides of the 3 sides of the triangle. So like this side here, this side here, and this side here. Okay, so here I'm going to call it X, I'm going to call this side Y, and I'm going to call this side Z. So it's actually X plus Y plus Z. So now the next question we need to find out is to try to see if we can have the values of X, Y, and Z. We have the value of x because here we can see that it's actually in terms of units. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 units. So that means that x is equal to 7. But y is unknown for the moment and z is unknown. So we need to find y and z. Y is this one. So in order to find y here, we can have that imaginary line here, as you can see here. This will allow us to have like a right angle triangle here. And this y is going to be considered as the hypotenuse, okay? And we know that according to the Pythagorean theorem, y is the hypotenuse squared is equal to, you know, the opposing side square plus the adjacent side squared as well. So now here we are going to call this side here, I'm going to call it small a, and here I'm going to call it small b. So that's going to give us small a squared and small b squared like this. And we can find the values of these small a and small b. So in terms of units, it's 1, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's 3 squared plus b is also 1, 2, 3 because this is actually coming from x0 here going up to y3. So that would be 1, 2, 3. Okay, so now this is going to give us 9 plus 9, which is 18. And then y is going to be square root of 18, which is equal to 3 square root of 2. Okay, so now y is this value. We are going to do the same thing for the value of z. If we need to find the value of z, say square root of z. This here, the other side here as well, is a right angle triangle. Okay, so that means here I'm going to call it small c. Small c, like this. And z here is going to be considered as the hypotenuse. So now, using the theorem, we can say that z squared is equal to b, small b squared plus small c squared. And we know the value of b, which is 3, we square it, and the value of c here is this 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So 4 squared, which is 9 plus 16. And z squared is equal to 25, and then z is actually equal to square root of 25, and we all know square root of 25 is equal to 5. So z is equal to 5. So now the question is to find the perimeter of the triangle, okay? So the perimeter of the triangle, call it here, perimeter of the triangle, P is equal to x plus y plus z, okay? And then we know x is 7 here. We know y is 3 square root of 2 plus z is equal to 5. And this will give us 7 plus 5 here is 12 plus 3, 2. Now we have the value of the perimeter. And one of the questions is to know, can we simplify this further? Or we can look at the answer choices that we have here. And we have answer E, which is part of the answer choices and also the answer that we found during the calculation. So answer E is the correct answer for this question. Okay, so that's how you go about solving this particular problem question. Let's move on to question number 25. What does it tell us? Yeah, so here it says 25, in the xy plane, what is the slope of the line with equation 3x plus 7y equal 9? So we know that in order to find the equation of the line, we need to put this particular equation to the form y being equal to mx plus b. So m here is the slope. So we are looking for m. M is the value that we are looking for. So now we have this 3x plus 7y equal to 9. So we need to put it into this form. This is a constant as well. So this will lead us to have 7y being equal to 9 minus 3x, because 3x here will change sign when it comes to the other side. This can also be written like this. Okay, we've just changed their positioning. And then y will be equal to minus 3x plus 9 over 7. Okay, this can also be written like minus 3x over 7 plus 9 over 7. This can also be written as minus 3 over 7 factor x plus 9 over 7. So now we have this particular form. See? So it's written according to that form. So this is our slope, minus 3 over 7. And when we look at the answer choices, we have answer B, which is the slope. Okay? As simple as that. So that's basically how you go about solving this. Okay, so let's move on to the next question, which is question number 26. Question number 26, it says, if x is different from minus 1 over 2, then 3x to the power 6x to the power 3 plus 3x to the power 2 minus 8x minus 4 over 2x plus 1 is equal to what? So here, what we need to do is to actually simplify this operation here, this expression. And what we can do is we're going to find a common expression. Definitely when we look at the answer choices, we don't see a fraction. So the first thing that comes in mind is to actually get rid of what we have in the denominator here. So in order to get rid of that, we need to find a way to express what we have in the numerator here in terms of what we have in the denominator. Okay, and one way to do that, we can see that here we can put 3x to the power 2 as a factor. So we will say 3x to the power 2 factor of 2x plus 1. Okay, and then we can put minus 4 for this expression here, minus 4 as a factor of 2x plus 1, like this, and then we have 2x plus 1 here. So here we have 2x, we can factor it, so 2x plus 1, factor of 3x squared minus 4 over 2x plus 1, and then we simply cancel like this. Then we will find ourselves with this expression here, 3x to power 2 minus 4. Then looking at the answer choices here, we know that answer C is definitely what we found to be our correct answer. Okay, that's simple as that. So now let's go to question number 27. Question number 27 says, if x minus y is equal to r, okay, So we can just write it like this is equal to R, and X, Y is equal to S like this. Then we need to find this particular value. We need to develop it and hopefully get an answer that will correspond to the answer choices that we have down here. So X minus 2 times Y plus 2 is equal to, so now when we develop XY, X times Y, X times 2 is equal to 2X, minus 2 times Y is equal to minus 2Y, and minus 2 times 2 is equal to minus 4. Then XY plus, we can put 2 as a factor here, factor of X minus Y minus 4. And then XY is equal to S. And we have 2, and X minus Y is equal to R minus 4. So now we can look at the answer choices. Which one is the correct answer? A, we have R. No, this is not the correct answer because we have 2R here. Here we have R again. It's not the correct answer. We even have 2S. We don't have 2S in the answer that we found here. This 2R here minus S. S here does not have a minus. No, it's not the correct answer. So this is not the correct answer. This is not. This is not. What about this one? So we have 2R, which is 2R here. We have plus X, plus S. We have S here. Minus 4. We have minus 4 here. So this is definitely our correct answer, and this one is not the answer. Okay, so this is the correct answer. Simple GMAT question. Yes, so feel free to write in the comment section if you you have maybe any question about how to go about solving this particular question. Now let's go to question number 28. Question 28, what is the value of square root of 17 plus square root of 47 to the nearest whole number? Okay, so here it's not asking us to find the exact value of this operation, square root of 17 plus square root of 47. It's asking us to find the nearest whole number. So that will give us the approximation to the nearest. What we can say here is that 17 here is closer to 16. So this is closer to square root of 16, which is 4. And 47 is approximately equal to 49. That can lead us to say square root of 47 is approximately equal to square root of 49, which is equal to 7. So we can say square root of 17 plus square root of 47 is approximately equal to 4 plus 7, which is equal to 11. Okay, so answer B should be our correct answer. And this normally takes you a couple of seconds to solve. Okay. Yeah, so feel free to write in the comment section if you have any doubt, any question. Let's move on, which is, what is the next question? Oh yeah, question 29. We can say here, question 29. There are 5 sales agents in a certain real estate office. 1 month, Andy sold twice as many properties as Ellen. Bob sold 3 more than Ellen. Carrie sold twice as many as Bob, and Dora sold as many as Bob and Ellen together. Who sold the most properties that month? So who sold the most property? That's the question. Now we can put our elements. So we can say A is actually the number of properties sold by ND. Simply put like that. B is equal to the number of properties sold by Bob. And then C is equal to the number of properties sold by Carrie. And D is equal to the number of properties sold by Dora, and then E is going to be equal to the number of properties sold by Ellen. Okay, and in the prompt it tells us that 1 month ND, which is A, sold twice as many properties as Ellen, so it's equal to 2A. It also tells us, so let me do it like this, that Bob sold 3 more than Ellen, so B is equal to 3. 3 more than Ellen is 3 plus Ellen, or Ellen plus 3, like this, okay? And then it says Carrie sold twice as many as Bob. C is equal to 2B. And then Dora sold as many as Bob and Ellen. So Dora is equal to B plus E. And then we have E here. So E is the only number that we don't have the formula for, okay? And one thing we can notice here is that the majority of the expressions here are dependent on the value of E, okay? And the only formula that is not dependent right now on the value of E is C. But C here can be written in terms of E, because we have B. This can be also written as like this, which is 2E plus 6, okay? Yeah. So in order to determine the real estate agent that sold most properties that month, we are going to just hypothesize about the value of E, and this will determine the rest. So let's just say let's suppose that Ellen sold only 1 property that month. What will be the value of the rest? So if E is equal to that, then A is going to be equal to 2 times 1, which is 2. B is going to be 1 plus 3, that is 4. C is going to be equal to 2 times 1 plus 6, that is 8. And D is going to be equal to B plus E, that is 4 plus 1, that is 5. And then, as we said, E is equal to 1. That's the hypothesis. And we find that Carrie is the agent that sold most properties. You will find out that no matter the value of E, okay, if you say E, for example, sold 10 properties, we will always find that C will have the greatest number of properties sold, okay, because this is equal to 10. A will be equal to 2 times 10, which is 20. B will be equal to 10 plus 3, which is 13. C will be equal to 2 times 10 plus 6, which is 26. And then D will be equal to 13 plus 10, which is 23. Okay? And E will be equal to 10. So now you see that carry will still have like the highest number of properties. So definitely carry is the answer. Answer C is the correct answer. All right? So that's how you go about solving this question. Here it's our question 29. How to go about it. So let's go to question number, the next question, question number 30. Question number 30 is this one. Okay. Let's just put it like this. And yeah, so it says the company C produces toy trucks at a cost of $5 each for the first 100 trucks. So we will say that cost 1, which is equal to C1, is equal to $5 each for the first 100 tracks. Okay, so that will lead us to say C1 is equal to $5 times 100. This is 500, okay? Even though by reading just the first sentence, we don't have that information, but we are just anticipating. Then it says, and $3.5 for each additional track. So that means cost 2 is equal to C2, which is $3.5 for each additional track. Yeah. Now the question is, if 500 toy trucks were produced by company C and sold for $10. Okay, sold for $10 each. What was company C gross profit? So we have the profit. This is the formula, is equal to revenue minus, I would say, total cost. This is also total revenue, okay? And then we will say R minus C. So in order to find the total revenue, is equal to total number of tracks sold times the selling price for each track. So this is going to, the total number of tracks sold is 500 from the prompt times selling price, it says $10 each. And then this will give us 5,000. So 5,000 is the revenue, the total revenue. Then we need to find the total cost. Total cost is actually equal to C1 plus C2, okay? The first cost and the second cost. The cost for the first 100 and the cost for the additional tracks. So C1 here, since we have sold 500, okay, in the 500, the first 100, okay, cost $5. So this will be 500. And then the remaining 400 will cost $3.5. And $3.5, so like if you say like this, 3.5 times 0, 0, 0, 20, 0, 0, 0, 12. And then you have 0, 0, 0, 0 for 1. And you have 2 numbers after the decimal point. So that is 1,400, okay? So that's the total cost. So total cost will be 500 plus 1,400, which is 1,900. But the question is, what is the gross profit? So now here we have the revenue, we have the cost, then we can find the gross profit. So profit, which is equal to P, which is equal to R minus C. Okay, let's just move down. Will be equal to, revenue is 5,000 here, minus cost, which is 1,900, and this will give us 3,100. Do we have that answer choice here? Yes. So answer C is definitely our correct answer that we are looking for. Okay, so that's how you solve this particular question. So now let's go to the next question. Question number 31 says, so we have here the formula. We have a formula here. The formula above gives the contribution C in dollars to a certain profit sharing plan for a participant with a salary of S dollars. How many more dollars is the contribution for a participant with a salary of 70,000 than for a participant with a salary of 50,000? Okay, so we need to find the contribution for someone with $70,000 salary and contribution for someone with $50,000 contribution. Okay, so, and we have in the formula here saying that if the salary is less than 60, use this formula. If the salary is more than 60,000, use the second formula here. Okay, so we can say for the participant with salary equal $50,000, the contribution is going to be equal to 0.10 S, which is 0.10 times 50,000, which is equal to 5,000. And then here we'll say participant. Okay, participant with salary equal to $70,000. The contribution will be equal to 0.10 S plus 0.04 S minus 60,000. Okay, so this is going to give us 0.10 70,000. Let me like this, 70,000 plus 0.04, 70,000 minus 60,000. This is 7,000 plus 4 times 10 to the power minus 2 times 10,000, which is actually 10 to the power 4. Then this will give us 7,000 plus 400. Okay, because this will be 7,000 plus 4 times 10 to the power minus 2 times 10 to the power 4, like this. And this will be 4 times 10 to the power 2, which is equal to 400. Okay, so this will give us 7,400. So now the question is to know how many dollars is the contribution for a participant with this 70,000 done for a participant with a salary of 50,000. So we can say, well, we can call this CA, CB, and maybe the differential, we are going to say CB minus CA. The CB is 7,400 minus 7,400 minus 5,000 is equal to 2,400. So that's definitely answer D. Okay, so that's the answer. And so we had to keep in mind that the question was to find how many dollars is the contribution of this salary than. Okay, so we needed to find the differential, the difference. How many dollars was more? And it could be a little bit tricky. Okay, let's go to question number 32. So it says, today, Anna is 10 years older than Michelle. So let's say today, okay, Anna's age, we're going to call it A. Okay, A is Anna's age today. And it says that Anna is 10 years older than Michelle. So it's equal to M plus 10. And M is Michelle's age today. Okay. If 15 years ago, Anna was twice as old as Michelle. So 15 years ago, that means that Anna's age today is minus 15 years is equal to twice. So twice is 2 times as old as Michelle. So that means Michelle age today minus 15 as well. Then it says, how old is Michelle today? So we need to find M. So one thing we can do is we have the expression of Anna's age today, in terms of Michelle's age, we can replace that in this here. Okay? So we will simply say A minus 15 equal to 2M minus 30. Replace A here, it is equal to M plus 10 minus 15 equal to 2M minus 30. One we can do M, this M will come the other side, it's going to be minus M. Minus 30 will come the other side, it's going to be 30. 10 minus 15 is going to be minus 5. And here 2M minus M. We're going to have 25 being equal to M. So M is equal to 25. And quickly, we can identify our correct answer. Okay, so let's move on. Question number 33. Question number 33 says this: a television manufacturer produces 600 units of a certain model each month at a cost of the manufacturer of $90 per unit, and all of the produced units are sold each month. What is the minimum selling price per unit that will ensure that the monthly profit, that means revenue from sales minus the manufacturer's cost to produce on the sales of these units will be at least 42,000. So we can start by saying that we know that the number of units produced, okay, we are going to call it N, is equal to 600 units per month. And from reading the prompt, we also know that the cost per unit produced is equal to $90. So it says, what is the minimum selling price? So we need to find the selling price. We are going to call it S. So how can we find the selling price? One thing we know is that profit, because we have the profit here, it should be at least 42,000. At least means that the lowest profit that we can get is 42,000. So profit is equal to revenue minus cost. So let's suppose that we have the lowest profit, and revenue is actually equal to the number of units produced times S, which is the selling price, minus the number of units produced times the cost, okay, per unit, cost per unit, like this. And we can see that we have N, we have C. So the only thing that is going to determine whether our profit is going to be higher than 42 here is the selling price. Okay, like if the selling price is higher, then the profit is going to be higher. If the selling price decreases, then the profit is going to decrease. Because this one, we have it, it's actually equal to 600 times 90. Okay, so this is going to lead us to have like this 600. S600 is N. N is, the 60 units produced per month. And the question is to know what is the minimum selling price per unit that will ensure that the monthly profit, so we are looking for the monthly profit, okay? And this will give us also 600 times 90. And we will have 600 times selling price equal to 42,000 plus this 600 times 90. 600 times 90, it's like 6 times 9, okay, which is 54 and 30 here, okay, 54,000. And S is going to be equal to 96,000 divided by 600. Divide not the 3 zeros, it's only the 2 zeros. Okay, so we will cancel the 2 here, which is going to lead us to this. And then if you see 960 divided by 6, say 1, 6, 3, 6, 6, 36, 0, 0. So 160. So now definitely we know that the selling price per unit, the minimum, okay, selling price per unit for the month needs to be 160, like this. Okay. Feel free to write any question. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the comment section. Now let's go to question number 34. Question number 34, it says, if k is an integer and 0.00100101 that times 10 to the power k is greater than 1000, what is the least possible value of k? I think we have this. So in order to have a value that will be greater than 1000, k must be positive. And we see that all our answer choices are, they are positive. And so what we can try, maybe insert the answer choices and see what will be the case. Like if k is equal to 2, because we are looking for the value of k, the least value of k that will make sure that this expression here is greater than 1000. And k must be between these answer choices. One of the answer choices here is the least possible value of k that will make this expression greater than 1000. So like if k is equal to 2, this will mean that we will have like this 0.001001 times 10 to the power 2, which will move the decimal point 2 positions to the right, 1 and 2. So now we have 0.10101. This is less than 1000. So this is not the correct one. You can do the same thing for the other. So this will lead us to 10 to the power 3. So we can say it's going to be 1.0101, which is less than 1000. If k is equal to 4, see, you can move just one decimal point, one position, less than 1000. But this one is not correct. if k is equal to 5, you can also move this. So it's going to give us 101.01 less than 1,000. And here, if so, the last one must definitely be our answer, okay? And if you move to have 1,000, 10.1, which is greater than 1,000. So this is our answer. Okay, so that's how you can go about finding the answer to that particular question. So let's move to question number 35. Question number 35, okay? So it says, question 35, the Earth travels around the Sun at a speed of approximately 18.5 miles per second. So 18.5 miles per second can be written like this, 18.5 over 1 second. 1 second or 1s, okay? S is equal to second. So now if we want to convert this into miles per hour, so we need to find the equivalent of 1 second in hour. So we can use the rule of 3 and say if 1 hour gives us 3,600 seconds, okay, then x will give us 1 second. That's it. So now we can find x, cross multiply like this. Okay, so 1 hour, that 1h times 1 second divided by 3,600 seconds. So the seconds can cancel themselves. So we will have 1 over 3,600 hour. So what we can now do is replace the 1 second into its equivalent in terms of hours. So this is the speed, okay? So speed s. So we can say s, or speed will now be equal to 18.5 miles divided by 1 over 3/6, like this. Then this will lead us to say 18.5 miles times 360 over 1 hour, like this. So now what we can do, this can be written as 18.5 miles times 36 times 100 over 1 hour. So if you multiply the 100 by 18.5, it's going to give us 1,850 times 36 over h. Okay, 1 h is like writing h, okay? And this is in terms of miles. So now 1,850 times 36 will give us 0, 30, 48 plus 3 is 51, and 6 plus 5 is 11, and then 3, 0, 15, 24 plus 1, 25. 3 plus 2 is 5. 6. So 0, 0, 6, 6. Like this. So now the speed is going to be this. Answer 66,600 miles per hour. That's the answer. Okay, so answer D is the correct answer. That's how you find it. So, because I was explaining, took a little bit of time, but then it's something that you can do very quickly. Okay, so question number 36. Can we move to question number 36? 36, okay. So during the first 11 months of a recent year, a certain charitable organization received an average of 20,600 per month of donation. How much did the organization receive in donations during December of that year if the average amount of donations per month for the entire year was 21,000? So we will start by saying that let n be equal to the number of first 11 months, which is equal to 11. And we are going to call D, that will be donations. Okay. So now it tells us that here, the organization, for the first 11 months, the organization received an average of 20,600 donations. So that average, we know that the average is actually the sum of all the donations. So these donations are from month 1 to month 11, divided by the number of months. So from 1 to 11, and it's equal to 20,600. So this, if we want to find like the sum of all the donations that the organization received in the first 11 months, we can simply say that, okay, the sum here, let me write it better. Let me write it better. Donations 1 to 11 is equal to the number of months, which is n, so 11 times 20,600, like this. Like if we do the math, you'll find 00602, 00602, 00662. Okay, so that's 8. And then it says, how much did the organization receive in donations during December of that year if the average amount of donations per year for the entire year was 21,000? So we know that the year is equal to 12 months. So we already have 11 months. So that means that 1 month of donation was added. Okay, that's the month of December. And it tells us that the sum of the donations in the first 11 months plus donations in December over n plus 1, that is 12, is equal to 21,000, like this. So now they want us to find the amount that the organization received in the month of December. So that extra amount that was added, and that made that the new average is now 21,000. So we will cross multiply, and this will lead us to have, let me just move this down like this. Okay. Then we will have donation in December, call it like this, is going to be equal to 12 times 21,000 minus 2,26600. Okay, this one here. And if we do the calculation, 21,000 multiplied by 12, 00024, 00012, 000252. Okay, and this we say we subtract 2,26600, 004, carry here 5, and carry here 2, 0. So this is going to give us $25,400. Definitely answer D is the correct answer. $25,400 is the amount of the donation received in December. Let's move to question number 37. Okay, question number 37. What does it say here? So it says, let me read that. Okay. For a certain exam, a score of 58 was standard deviations below mean, and a score of 98 was 3 standard deviations above mean. What was the mean score of the exam? So if we try to interpret this mathematically, we can say that. So score of 58 was 2 standard deviation, or we can say D, okay, the standard deviation below mean. Mean, we can call it M. Mathematically, this means that 58 was equal to mean minus 2D. So 2 standard deviations below. Second information that we get from the prompt is that the score of 98 was 3 standard deviation, or D, above mean. Call M here. So 98 is equal to mean, since it's above, so that's going to be plus 3D. Okay, so this will give us a system of equation where we have M minus 2D, which is equal to 58, and M plus 3D, which is equal to 98. Okay, so we are finding M, but in order to find M, we can first try to find D. And one way we can do that, if we multiply the first equation by -1, we get minus M plus 2D is equal to -58. And here we will still have M plus 3D being equal to 98. And then this will cancel, and we will have 5D minus 58 plus 98 is 40. So D is going to be equal to 8, 40 divided by 5. So now, since we have D, we can find M. So since D is equal to 8, so the standard deviation is 8, then M minus 2, 8 equal to 58. M is equal to 58 minus plus 16, because this will be minus 16, and when it comes to the other side, it's going to be plus 16, and this will give us 74. So answer A is the answer that you're looking for. Okay, so moving on to the next question, which will be question 38. Question 38. So this question says, according to the incomplete table, let me move this tag. Okay. Yes. So according to the incomplete table, above, if each of the 6 teams in the league played each of the other teams exactly twice and there were no ties, how many games did Team X win? Only 2 teams play in a game. So it's really important. So only 2 teams play in a game. First, we need to find how many games were played. Okay. So find how many games let me see how many games were played if each of the teams played each of the other teams once. Okay, and in order to find that, we use the combination. We have 6 teams and only 2 teams play in a game. So out of the 6 teams, how many possible games we can have? That will give us this. So we'll have 6 factorial, 2 factorial, 6 minus 2 factorial, 6 times 5 times 4 factorial, 2 factorial, 4 factorial, like this. So 6 times 5 divided by 2, which is 3 times 5, being equal to 15 games if they played once. Like this. But the prompt says that they played twice. Okay? So we will say, since they played twice. Then 15 times 2, 30 games were played. So they played twice, 13 games were played. So now, it also says here, there were no ties. So when the two teams played, one team won and the other one lost. And there was no tie. So that means in the 30 games played here are going to be distributed among the 6 teams. But from the table here, we have the number of games won by 5 of the teams. And we'll try to do a summation of that number of games won. So we would say number of games won that we already know is equal to, so we can take from the table here, we have these ones. Now, we have these games here, but this we do not know. So that is 4 plus 7 plus 9 plus 2 plus 2. This gives us 24. Okay, but they played 30 games. We already know that 24 games were won by, these 5 teams. Remaining 6 games. Okay, we'll say remaining 6 games. So these 6 games, we have 2 possibilities. They were either won by Team X, or maybe there was some ties, but the prompt says that there were no ties. And since we only have one team that we don't know how many number of games they won, and since there were no ties, we can conclude that the 6 games here correspond to the number of games won by Team X. Okay, so since there were no ties, so 30 minus 24 equals 6 games won by Team X. Answer C is the correct answer. Let's move on to the last but one question. Here, that will be question number 39. And then we will do question number 40 after that. So question number 39. 150 is what percent of 30? So simply saying X percent of 30 equal to 150. And this means that X to the power X over 100 is times 30 is equal to this. Okay. So this here, we have 30x 100, and x will be equal to 100 times 15, 150 over 30. This will be 5, so we'll have 500. So answer E is the answer. So x is 500, so 500% of 30 is equal to 150. That's question number 39, which is also very simple. And then let's do question. Okay, let's do question number 40. Question number 40. Okay, if 1 minus 1.25 factor n is equal to 1, then what is the value of n? So this here will be equal to 1 over 1 minus 1.25. And it's going to be equal to 1 over minus 0.25, which is equal to minus 1 over 0.25. 0.25 can also be written as 25 over 100, and this can be written as this, minus 1 times 100 over 25. So this can be written to as minus 100 over 25, which is equal to minus 4. Correct answer is answer C, minus 4. So that's how you can solve this specific question.